Hi, my name is Hudson Byblow, and I'm asking you to vote against Bill C-8. The reason it took me so long to make this video is because I think I had to adjust to the shock that it would possibly be illegal for my own story to be shared. I'm a person who has same-sex attractions and transgender inclinations both being part of my story, and I have spent a lot of time sharing my story of finding peace and joy regardless of wherever my attractions were, but outside of the mindset that the world desires me to be affirmed within. And I have found peace in that, and I know that many other people have as well. It floors me that that section of the truth of the fullness of narratives is going to be made less accessible. And the reason why that troubles me the most is because I know that has brought about much freedom and joy for a lot of people, especially who experience unwanted same-sex attractions and unwanted transgender inclinations. And so my question is, why on earth would our government desire people to never encounter the peace and freedom that they otherwise could have? I'm not talking about changing attractions. I'm not talking about changing gender perception. I'm talking about being able to be exposed to differing mindsets. And further, after my experience teaching in an Islamic school where I know there are particular teachings on this stuff that are not in the affirmative nature, I wonder how their types of schools will be impacted alongside of Christian schools and their types of conversations that they'll have. What I'm looking at is like a decline on the freedom to believe things without criminal penalty, basically, or the freedom to speak about things without criminal penalty. But when it comes to bringing people ideas about life that can broaden their perspective from seeing things through this narrow lens to something more broader, in what other facets of our world is that considered something that should be shut down? And to me, it seems like our world promotes that in many other ways, but not on this topic. On this topic, it's you're gay or trans or whatever, and that's who you are, and that's it. I've had activists tell me over coffee, okay, like I'm sitting with these people, and they say something like, anything short of absolute affirmation is a form of hate. And that's what I'm really worried about, is that, so that makes ideas that broaden the narrative a form of hate. If our laws kind of kowtow to the demands of these, I would say, like extreme activists, then ideas become hate. And these are ideas that brought me freedom and have brought lots of other people freedom too. And I don't know if it's a good idea to have ideas that bring people freedom and peace to become deemed as hateful, because there are some spiteful people who simply want to hamstring anybody who believes something differently. I mean, to me, that makes the LGBTQ pride movement or the activist movement nothing short of a religion in and of itself. And now we're talking about like opposing ideologies. I don't see this has anything to do with like freedom and protection of vulnerable people who are going to be exploited by therapists. Absolutely not. That's part of the conversation, but it absolutely also has to do with the illegalization of ideas and the illegalization of stories like mine, which is to say that I have walked away from the LGBTQ mindset and I have found like a new life. I have found a way to find peace and joy because I didn't want to be the gay kid. I didn't want to be the trans kid, even though I took on those identities for some time. Okay, so yeah, I guess I'm looking forward to seeing Bill C-8 being axed, but part of me is a little worried that that'll never happen, and then I guess I'm just gonna have to go to jail for sharing my story, and I'll have the Canadian lawmakers to thank for that. I don't want that to happen, obviously, but I mean, what does that leave a person to do, right? It leaves a person to hide because their story is too hot for the law. It's like, look, I have a voice, and the moment that it's gonna get suppressed, it's like, what does that say about our country? True north, strong, and free? For those reasons, I hope that you vote against Bill C-8. Again, my name is Hudson Byblow, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. All right, peace.